Yo, what's up, StockTwits crew? Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back. I hope everybody's had a great week so far. I'm ready to wrap up the week, Michael Nauss, with the Friday here. I'm hoping we get a good one here because we haven't really moved since 10 a.m. from 2 days ago. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping we get some good moves. I know we had some data this week and earnings that we're gonna touch on and a bunch of stuff going on. We had crypto markets are doing some crazy things as well. So I'm excited to dive into the convo. But how's the week been for you?
It's been great actually. Even though it's been a little bit boring, I was pretty good at getting the rotation. So for those who don't know, IWM has just been screaming higher. The small caps have been doing great, where the large caps, the big cap tech has been kind of lagging behind a bit. So hopefully, finally, maybe small caps participate. Hopefully, I've just been teased so many times. I don't think I want to let my brain go there. But for those who haven't, if you've been trading just the last 5 years, then small caps suck. They haven't moved in that time. But there is a day, there is a world before that where small caps moved, and you could trade something other than the Mag 7 and have these giant moves that in non like really junky names, but have giant moves that on good companies that are just smaller in nature. And it's way easier for a $1 billion company to double than it is a $1 trillion company to double, right?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I've been watching RTY and IWM definitely just
Hmm.
ripping lately, but I'm with you. It's hard to jump on the train because I mean, like we've talked about on the show, maybe people in the audience haven't heard this before, but I mean, IWM is just not something I ever want to really be long term investing in. Maybe we catch those moves when when it's pumping and it has some good moves, but it's just you're constantly kicking out your biggest players,
Hmm.
right? Your best winners, you're just constantly kicking out. And for that simple fact, I can't get behind it. For that reason, I'm out. Like I just like I can't get behind it when you're constantly kicking out your best winners over and
And
over.
it's
So
it's funny though, if you read the textbooks that were obviously written before 2020, uh, there's supposed to be this thing called a small cap premium, where small caps are supposed to actually outperform large caps over time because they are riskier, right? And you're supposed to get a premium for that risk. And as you can see, this is a weekly chart. So right here is the beginning of 2020. Ever since they've even flirted about raising interest rates, we are kind of right where we were 3, 4 years ago. Now, before then, again, the IWM was a great little index to trade, a great little index to hold. But as soon as interest rates started to get raised, as we talk about a lot, that hurts the small guys. Apple, Microsoft, they don't care. They've got so much cash, they don't care what their interest rates are. But these guys who generally need a lot of loans and things like that to run their business, they've been hurting. But I just look at that and say, is a 5 year long base, if we're going to resolve that higher, I don't know. Kind of reminded me of like Ethereum vibes, right? Everyone hated Ethereum, and we've got this 4 or 5 year base that's resolving higher. It's starting to get me a little bit excited,
starting to
but
get
again,
them.
I'm
You're
pretty.
starting to sell yourself right now. I can see it.
I know it's, but I
Yeah, be
need more. I
careful.
need more confirmation first.
Yeah, I get you. Well, general markets slipped early Wednesday after a hot PPI reading showed wholesale prices climbing at their fastest pace in 3 years, up nearly 1% month over month. Despite that inflation spike, rate cut odds for September held steady at 90%, while mortgage rates fell to a year to date low of 6.58%. Things flipped by the close as Intel ripped higher on reports that the White House is considering a stake in the chip maker. Meanwhile, a lot of you guys probably saw this, but if you didn't, United Health popped 8% after Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway revealed a sizable new position. I think
Hmm.
some other big players, Michael Burry, some other big names have added as well. And let me see. You have that UNH chart up? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just what it happened perfectly, Michael. What we've been talking about throughout the weeks coming on here. We finally traded to that low that everybody tried to buy
Yep.
May 15th. What do and again, like if you're long, where are you probably setting your stop? Well, probably below that most recent low, right?
Hmm.
And what happens? Price trades right down to there, stops everybody out to generate the liquidity to do what? Go right where they wanted it in their favor, right? And so this is where I love price action and news together because this news that came out just fed the fire for me. But really, price action told us the story before any of these headlines came out, right? And that's what I love
Well, and
about these moves.
we
What's
know
up?
how these big guys buy, right? And it's you're not they're not chasing breakouts. They're not looking
Mm-mm.
for, the nice little tight base and they're waiting for it to break and they're buying it. That's us trying to get momentum from them. They buy stocks like this. And full disclosure again, I own some UNH because it did exactly I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago we talked about what we wanted to see, which was an undercut of this 250 area and then it started to reclaim it. So I think 260, yeah, about the close of this candle right here. That's where I
Yep.
bought back in because it undercut that low, and then you look to see if there's people buying that flush, and looks like there was, right? A couple big names out there are interested. Now this still has a lot of overnight risk if there's something bad that's happening, but it, it's one of those, especially Berkshire Hathaway is a huge kind of seal of approval of, right? Yes, this company's in trouble, but that trouble's priced in, right? We got to remember we still got cut in half in a healthcare stock, right? And this isn't, a biotech or anything crazy like that. It's got cut in half and it's a massive dividend player. So yeah, to see some really smart people kind of step back in, I think that's going to be a little bit of a catalyst to
Yeah.
potentially have more investors kind of come in as they give that kind of seal of approval there.
Another thing to keep in mind, I was talking on Spaces with some people last night, and you know, UNH has come a far way from all-time highs. We forget, like, we're looking at it at $300. We just ran from these lows a decent amount, right? But there is so much room to from where it was, right? And I'm not necessarily saying like I expect this to go right back to like
Mm,
all-time highs or anything, but just look at that, right? This was, like you say, it was cut in half, right? This was a
yeah.
$600 stock, which it just goes to show to me, like, I think there's still a lot more opportunity, even if it's the halfway retracement of that entire range, right? I think there's
Yes.
still opportunities. So,
It's a
yeah,
big
just
fib
great
level. So
thoughts.
so that would be what, 424, which from here would be, yeah, 50% gain. And again, on
Yeah,
a giant like conglomerate company that's going to be paying you dividends while you wait. It's one of those things that there's a very slim chance that this thing ever goes to zero, right? I think getting cut in half is probably a pretty big move. And again, if I know there's probably not a lot of boomers like me watching this, but the fact that you're just getting paid $2 a share every quarter just to hold this thing, you put 1,000 shares in there, you own some of it. You say, okay, if it gets back to where it was, I'll sell half, but I'm just gonna get paid my $2,000 a quarter anyway, just to hold it. Yeah, it's not bad, right? I don't think I'll be in it that long, but I'll probably actually be selling some on the open, knowing me. But
I've been trading the two times leveraged one, the UNHG. I've been doing it's the
UNH.
same thing. It's just a newer ticker and it's 2x leverage. So
Oh,
I've been playing that, and she finally turned green.
nice.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I love those. So I was trying to capitalize on that.
cool.
But yeah, no, great stuff for UNH. Obviously, after being down 50% year to date,
Hmm.
and the company slashing guidance twice, CEO Andrew Whitty exited. Right, like there was a lot of bad things going on. So it's nice to see us getting some recovery there.
Yeah.
Some other names that were added to the Berkshire portfolio: Nucor, NUE, down 1%, I believe, yesterday or last night. LAMR Advertising, LAMR, down 0.23%, and Allegiant, ALLE, 0.63% down. So yeah, some other names. It's funny. UNH really got all the limelight because I didn't really see anywhere on my timeline that these other names were added as well.
No,
So
I'm
something to
still
keep an
seeing
eye
the
on.
tweets this morning
Yeah,
of just in case you missed it.
yeah, people all late. Yeah, do you have any thoughts on some of these names? I personally haven't heard of this one. I've heard of what was it? The
Yeah,
new core,
Nucor.
but the other two I haven't really heard of. So I'm curious if you have any thoughts here on the
No, just a
initial look.
right quick look at this Nucor. It's kind of range bound. Looking at a lot of these things, it just shows, it's a Friday in August, so that's why everyone's going to focus on the one or two big names that are really moving. Because yeah, I'm just looking at a lot of these. ALE. That one's kind of interesting. Nice little breakout there, but
Yeah,
I don't know anything about these
I don't
tools and
either, but they've
hardware.
been doing good. Tools and
Right.
hardware. Let's go.
Sure. Why not?
Love it. Um, well, let's get on to INTC because Trump's admin floats buying into Intel. Intel shot up 7.38% after Bloomberg reported the US government may take an ownership stake in the company. A week after Trump slammed CEO Lip Bhutan, he in the cabinet reportedly sat down with Intel to talk through the next steps. Turns out a direct investment is on the table. So something to keep an eye on there with Intel. I don't know if you have any thoughts. I know we've looked at this before in the past, and it's just kind of the same thing, right? We're in accumulation going sideways at kind of making a base at the bottom, and are we
Yeah.
going to break out or not, right? It's like we're waiting for that, and it looks like we're trying to kind of get that going.
And the producers that have to listen to me here are probably sick of me saying it, but I've been pounding the table for weeks. Is show me charts that look like this, that have been kind
Yeah.
of priced as if they're going to zero or near zero, and haven't, right? There's a bunch of these that I'm watching, DNA and Outlet and a bunch of these names that just
That one's doing better.
right stop going down and then start going up, and Intel, man, at some point, this is going to be just a screaming buy. I'm just kind of waiting. That base has to resolve higher first. But just like we were talking about with UNH, let's say it doesn't get back to highs, but let's just say it takes, do a little fib, and it just gets 50% back to highs. Well, on Intel, that's you're talking 50-60% move. That's
Yep.
pretty substantial for such a large company that, again, is going to be paying you some dividends along the way, things like that. But yeah, if this base resolves higher, just because we've been in it for so long, this is almost a year of just sideways price action. If we can break out from there, I'm going to be involved for sure. I don't know if leaps is going to be the best way to do it or what it is, but I just want to own some. And then if we kind of shoot at this prior high, you're talking a 50-60% gain. It's no double or triple or anything like that, but it's also something that's relatively simple, relatively boring name. And if you can make that kind of money on something like that, well, yeah, I'll take it all day.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and something to keep in mind is Intel is the only fully US based company capable of building cutting edge chips, a national security angle that may justify the move.
Hmm.
Bloomberg's Tom Giles called the ideal socialist, but traders didn't seem to care. The idea has echoes of the CHIPS Act, though past grants are now under review. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick previously said many were overly generous.
Yeah, so
So,
socialism is
what's
a
it?
problem when it doesn't help me, right?
Yeah,
That's kind
yeah,
of how it
yeah,
works. It's like,
yeah.
hey, if I own the thing and the government, the other thing is like what the FMCC, the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, right?
Look at the
Socialism sucks
stock.
when it's not doing, when it's up
Oh
2,500%
my
in a straight
god,
line. Right? So it
that's
makes sense.
insane.
Maybe they spin off. That's the talk here with this Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. They spin off. They get a bunch of cash from that. They invest in Intel. Sure, it's a good backer to have, the government, because they're not going to let it go under anyway. But
Yeah,
yeah, above, what's that, 25? I'm interested. Right where you're wrong, right? So you're buying at 25, you're probably risking to 20. And then if you're right, it goes to 50, right? So you're risking 5 points to make 25 points. You kind of have to make that trade.
yeah, agreed. Let's bring up Bitcoin too, because that's been making some moves. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the U.S. has no plans to buy more Bitcoin, even as the government's holdings reached 15 billion and Bitcoin broke 124K. I don't know where we're at right now. Oh, we're sitting right at the
It's at
118.
120.
Yeah,
This is not ideal. We've had the failed breakdown out of this base, and now it looks like, at least for now, a failed breakout out of this base. So I'm watching this one closely. I want to see Bitcoin retake this high pretty quickly. But right, I've been, again, someone else I've been yelling about for a long time. I think the days of Bitcoin doubling and tripling and quadrupling is just over, because you have so many institution involvements. I think it's going to act more like a traditional kind of equity space, like maybe 10, 20, 30% years, that type of thing. I don't think going from 1,000 to 100,000 in a matter of years on the table. The reason for that is simply, if I'm a large institution, I said, okay, client, I think you should have 5% of your net worth in Bitcoin. That's great until Bitcoin shoots up, and then you have to rebalance. So you have to sell some of that to maintain that 5% weighting, and then you take that money and go buy somewhere else. So we see it in all markets. You can go as the higher the liquidity, the higher the adoption in the market, the more efficient it gets, the less these crazy returns become. So I'm not saying Bitcoin's dead or it's a top or whatever. I just think if you look at it, it's been happening the whole time, right? Each of these moves, right? That's like a 10,000% gain. And then from that crash, it's like a 2,000% gain. And then from this crash, it's like a 500% gain. So
Yep.
each time we spike, it's a little less on a percentage base every time. So I think we're just getting into that point where, if you have a 20-30% year in Bitcoin, you're happy. You're still double the returns of the market with probably double the risk. And it's getting into that traditional asset kind of thing, which is hilarious because some of the hardcore Bitcoin people were screaming from the top of their lungs about institutional adoption. And then I think when they get it, they're going to be screaming from the top of their lungs that it's TradFi now, just like anything else.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, let's be real. And that's what you want for Bitcoin, right? You want it to be like, if this is going to be a future actual like asset that we're using daily, like this needs to be steady. It can't be this crazy volatile thing that's going
Yeah.
up and down like crazy percentages all the time. It just wouldn't make sense if we're gonna if that's gonna be like a currency for us, you know what I mean, actually
Mm-hmm.
like backed by the US, you know what I mean? It can't be fluctuating like that. So I'm with you. We're getting to a point where it's more like we're investing in the S&P 500 of crypto, you know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
and then right, if it's the whole digital gold narrative, to me always made perfect sense, right?
yeah,
If you look at it, it doesn't mean you don't have big runs in gold that are right 20, 30, 40%. It's just you don't have 1,000% up and then 50% down, and then a thousand
agreed.
percent up and 50% down. I think those days are done. Because just like my example of if someone wants to own 5% of their net worth in crypto, they're selling as it moves higher. Well, they're also buying as it moves lower. And the more people that are buying on the way down and selling on the way up, just the more kind of condensed type of range you get. And the fact that there's way more instruments to do that now, we're seeing insane inflows into crypto ETFs and things like that. It just makes sense that it goes the traditional path of every other asset before it, which is more liquid, more stable, and then just insane growth.
Yeah, agreed. Let's get into some top tickers that have been moving. We saw Newegg. I don't know if you remember this name, Michael
Oh
Nauss.
yeah,
It's been a long time, but she's up 39.4%, breaking 52-week highs after insider buying and a $65 million stock sale agreement.
I'm just looking for
Look at
yeah
this thing.
that's the reason. At some point, it read 100% shorted in this
Oh,
area.
really?
Yeah, I don't know if that could be some they have obviously
It's
had to
probably
do
shenanigans.
reverse splits, so there might be some corporate action. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did a 1 for 20 reverse split, so they were almost kicked off the exchange. So that might be a little bit shenanigans, but it was at some point fairly heavily shorted. So this seems like just your very typical open door kind of right GameStop of old, short squeeze where things just rocket. Yeah, and is Newegg worth this? Probably not. But would I short it? Absolutely not. You do not get in front of these freight trains until they finally break.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We also had AMCR down 11.87%, missed EPS despite strong revenue. Apparently, they had earnings. Not a name I'm super familiar with.
AMCR.
Yeah,
Oh,
AMCR.
yeah,
Sorry.
no idea.
Um, yeah,
PLC generally means it's a foreign domiciled company anyway. So okay, good. But this thing hasn't moved in 5 years.
yeah. Another one that's kind of not on my radar. EVEX down 24.5%. They posted $64.7 million net loss, but claims runway through 2026. So they're trying to they're trying to sell people the dream of the future right there.
Mm.
Looking
Aerospace
rough.
and defense. Yeah. And if you're an aerospace and defense company at $1 billion, if you're an aerospace and defense company and you're not doing well, what are you doing? Like this is defense tech. I always like to bring up this ETF.
Yeah,
This is the defense tech
look at that.
ETF. And then ITA is aerospace and defense ETF. So this is the tariff panic lows. And then if you can't do it in this environment, what environment are you going to do it in, right?
Exactly. I don't see how you can look for that to succeed if the whole sector's flying and the name
Hmm.
itself just can't catch a break. So we also had Lunar down 14.3 percent. It's been a minute since I've seen this name. They had convertible debt offering raises dilution concerns. What does that chart look like? Huh,
Nothing.
not much.
Nothing. There's
Yeah,
so
weird
many
names.
things, right? We have equities at all-time highs, right? Just from the big cap. And then even IWM, nice small cap breakout here. So it's just one of those, if your stock just looks like this, uh, I'm not interested, right? Show me the stuff that's breaking out because the
Yeah.
markets are breaking out. So I want to be in those names that are doing something interesting. So for this, maybe like a mean reversion trade or something, but nothing interesting.
Yeah. Here's some names we know. AAP down 8.03%, cut full year EPS after 9% year over year revenue drop. Jeez.
I always look at this and then I look at AZO, which is the same
Yeah, yeah.
business, and just say this is the difference that
Again,
management makes, right? Where the so AZO is just, and if you zoom out, it gets even crazier, right? This thing goes. So you have this company, and anyone who tells you you have to be in, like crazy biotechs or space or robotics to make money. Yeah, this is a long time. This is a 65,000% gain. And then you what, AAP, and then you look like this. It's like, so
yeah.
okay. This is what managers and CEOs should be paid in stock. And I'll like go to the grave saying that because this guy deserves to make way more money than that guy. No,
Mm-hmm.
AAP, that guy, right? Like it's yeah, you see it with a lot of the big guys like Musk. Doesn't take a salary. It's all stock, and same with Jobs. He didn't, and things like that. Yeah,
Because
it
also, when it's
was.
stock, you can use it as collateral, even though you haven't sold it yet,
Yeah, it's
which
that's
is
how
a
you should get
beautiful
paid
thing.
because right, this guy deserves a yacht. This guy, right, not so much.
Yeah, seriously. We had CoreWeave as well, Michael Nauss. I don't know if
Oh,
you
earnings.
touched on that name recently, but yes, your WV down 15.5%. Revenue up, but margins and debt costs tanked. So,
Yeah, this is one that's interesting. If you do this VWAP
there we go.
from the IPO date, bounced
Hmm.
off that pretty significantly, and then just kind of crashed right back through. So for me,
Not
that's a
good.
no go unless this can kind of get reclaimed in some way. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'd want that to happen fast too. Like, if I'm looking for that to reclaim, it's got to happen
Yeah, maybe a nice
today.
little down
Like,
day today and then a rip.
yeah.
So if you do a weekly chart, maybe down right this week, and then you'd want to see it right back up over it like next week closing basis.
What's half back of the range? That whole range we're in. I'm
Um,
curious.
roughly the same.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much the exact
We're
same
basically at
price.
it. Okay.
So that's like what, 110. So that's why I love trading, is
Yeah.
because we just came up with a trading plan. Okay, if by next week it's over 110, I'll probably buy it. I'll put my
Boom.
stop whatever the swing low is, target all-time highs. If not, I don't care. There's tons of stocks out there, right? And that's as easy as it has to be. And it's shocking that there's so many people out there who just kind of buy and sell randomly. You can just come up with a right. We had our if
That's
then
simple.
scenarios. We've got our risk. We've got our potential reward. We can do the math to see if it mathematically makes sense, and you're done.
You're done. Exactly. Some news highlights from StockTwits. We had JD.com slip 2.5%, but beat on revenue. Flipping retail sentiment bullish there. I don't know how that chart's looking,
Interesting.
but rough chart a little
I
bit.
China, I think, is going to have its time sometime in the next year or so. It's just going to be all
Just
about
not now.
tariff stuff. No, and a lot of these names, if you look at them, they're like this, right? They're in some sort of kind of
Baba too
tightening.
lately. I've been watching Baba pretty closely. It's been the same.
Yeah, this nice tight range. So I would just watch this and say, okay, if this range can resolve higher, you want some tariff news to come out, something like that could rip us. But because China's fun when it's fun. Like I had a great earlier in the year. this second run right here, right? I missed this first pop off the lows, but I caught a little bit in the second. I caught a little bit in the third. You can make good money trading in China, but it's you need something to occur, right? You need
Yeah.
like the whole tariff looming, I think, is just keeping so many institutional investors on the sideline that as soon as that's resolved, then we can start to actually make some trades. So
Yes, sir. We got some. Let's see. What data do we have today? We have retail sales that came out at 8:30 Eastern. Let me what was that number real quick? Point 0.3 on the core retail sales month over month. Retail sales 0.5. Forecast was 0.6. Previous was 0.9. We do have consumer sentiment and inflation expectations at 10 o'clock Eastern. So
mhm.
maybe watch out for a little volatility there. And then Trump is speaking today. It says tentative though. I
Oh
don't know what
god.
time. So, watch out for that. It's usually after 11:30 Eastern though, when is that's usually when I'm done. So I don't mind. He can talk all he wants as long as I'm out of my trades by then. So
Yeah, we still
uh
have too, consumer sentiment and inflation expectations too. So
yeah.
we've had some with like retail sales, and then we've got some more. So whenever you've got that kind of sandwich of news, you've got some news, and then you've got that 10 o'clock news as well. For me, that's I don't even want to watch the market really too closely for that first little bit. Just everything that happens before that, and in this case, everything that happens before Trump speaks, is kind of just you want to take your scalp, you want to make your money, you want to move on. But some interesting pre-market action. We keep dipping into this 645 area, but they keep ripping it back through. We're trying to get
Hmm.
back up through VWAP again. So some for now, some accumulation in this zone.
Yeah, we're really holding. I'm waiting to see on the NQ future specifically. We're still like ES is a lot stronger. I think it's still just barely over the session high from yesterday, but on NQ we're
Mm.
just in the middle. We're completely in the middle of session lows and session highs from yesterday. So I wanna see a push to either side and maybe
Well, and
try
a
and
lot of that,
short
right,
or long either way.
is small caps pushing up, right? And so
Yeah.
this is why it's important. I say to people to look at these different sectors because, right, if your Qs are outperforming your S&P 500, then right, big cap tech's winning. If your S&P 500 is outperforming your Qs, you want to start looking at right XLV for healthcare, right? That's up pretty significantly, which makes sense with the UNH news. You look at XLF for financials, which is up, right? You look at XLE for energy. You try to find these sectors, which is down. You try to find which sectors are doing the best and which are doing the worst. And it can kind of give you a good idea of potentially where to go hunting if you see one sector that's just kind of really rocketing compared to the others.
Yeah. Agreed. What's VIX looking like this morning as well? There's that bell. Open the market. Let's see where this wants to go. Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Okay.
we should have Leah coming on right now. We're gonna get some thoughts from her as well. See what she's doing this Friday. I know I talked to her earlier in the week and she's been killing it. There she is. What's up, Leah?
Hi guys, how are you?
Doing good. How
Good
are you?
morning.
What?
Happy Friday.
Oh, I'm good. This time zone is just I don't know.
Are you
I
still on
I
West
think I
Well,
need.
Coast?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh,
I'm not making this. It's not gonna work.
it's not gonna work.
Mm-mm.
getting up that early? No.
No,
Oh yeah.
I can't. I'm not an early person at all. Like I like to wake up my 8 a.m. You know.
Oh
I know, I'm
shit.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I was up all night too, and so
Oh,
waking up early here. Yeah, we're gonna sleep good tonight. But
it's
tell me how the
painful.
trades have been this week. I know we talked a little bit earlier in the week when you were on Spaces with us, but tell me how things have been going, what you've been trading on the watch list, and yeah, what you might be looking at for
What
today.
I've been trading. Let me see.
Yeah, you can share your
This
screen too. Feel
week,
free.
yeah, let me share my screen. Doo-doo.
Mhm.
Yeah, while you're doing that, you guys should move out to Atlantic time. Market opens 10:30.
I will
I
be.
live I
I
live in
will be.
Miami, but I'm here for like 3 months
Wait,
now, two
is it
months.
10:30 right now, Michael Nauss? Did they switch
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Yeah, it's up 10. So I get
oh.
up, I do the
Oh,
stuff with the kids, I send them to school, I go to the gym,
oh,
I got tons and tons of time, and then the market opens. So
I
yeah,
need
that's
to get out of here.
amazing. It's like Europe. I love trading from Europe. I actually would want to move back to Europe. I'm like totally ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Like Spain or somewhere, just have my mornings and enjoy my life, and then start trading at like 3:30.
Ooh,
So what I
Mara,
was
huh?
trading, no, I'm just looking at this company is such a dead capital. I don't own it anymore. I dumped all of it when it had this little spike to 21. I dumped it at 19. I'm like done with it. But we're
That
still in
thing's been rough.
Tesla. Yeah, the
They are
Mara is
selling.
just useless. I mean,
They're
look,
selling
if
the market
Bitcoin
too.
moves so much and Mara doesn't, then the decision is to get out. I'm still in Tesla. From like last week, I already mentioned that one, I think, and I'm in Elf. I really like this breakout here. We'll see. We're still
That is a clean breakout. That looks like something right up your alley, Michael. Now, so I feel like you love this kind of look on a chart here.
Yeah, and I love that this was like a darling. If you zoom back, I mean, ELF it had this crazy move in 2021,
mm,
2022. It got like
even
popularized
last
on
year. Look,
TikTok or something.
23.
Yeah, just ripped.
Yep, yep.
And yeah, now pulls back a bit, shakes out a lot of the weak hands, and now it's setting up that nice looking cup and handle that Leah showed. And yeah, that looks great if
Yeah,
we can break that.
if I can hold it. Yeah, it had a nice breakout Monday or Wednesday, pardon me, and then it's just sitting. So hopefully it's gonna get some more juice there. But
10%
today,
short float too. It's not nothing. It's not
nice.
huge, but
Yeah, yeah. Oscar, we're in. It's doing nothing, but I'm just gonna sit and wait. I think this is like pretty. Yesterday was pretty choppy in the market, and they're getting into all sorts of things. And when is the Fed? 27 to 29th of August, right? In Jackson Hole.
mhm.
And I think August 27th, we also have Nvidia earnings at the close. So just to
Yeah.
add to the fun, you know.
Oh God. I'm actually really sad because I was gonna take vacation 27 to 29. These 3 days, I actually was ready to not trade and switch off my phone. And it
Now
completely
you
ruined my
can't.
vacation. Now I can't, and I'm gonna be at Burning Man. So like, really good luck. It's gonna be
Yeah, I don't
super
know how
tough.
good the connection's going to be out there, but
I'm taking
maybe get a little
Starlink.
Starlink.
I have
Yeah, a little
Starlink, yeah,
Starlink.
but
There you go.
it's not what you want to do there.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
I'm I'm looking at iron. I'm waiting for this breakout right here.
Oh, that's a nice
Always these names
answer.
that are like consolidating, getting ready to break out. I love it.
Data
Yeah, after a big
processing.
run, I like to see consolidation. It did break out right here after this flag, but it did not do much. So it trapped me a little bit there, and I got stopped out. Right, I give it like a $1 stop loss approximately on this like $19 stock. I wouldn't do more than that, because then you're sitting on that capital, or it goes much lower. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm looking at. MSTR actually, it looks like a head and shoulder, guys. Look,
Yeah, in
it
that range, it's
does
starting to
not
look a
look
little rough.
good. Mm.
Yeah, well, with that Bitcoin kind of a little bit of a fake out there, starts to get some people worried that if we're not gonna stick the landing here, maybe the torch is getting passed to Ethereum, Solana, these coins for a little bit anyway, and MicroStrategy only owns Bitcoin. It's the only thing they do. So yeah, if we're gonna get a little bit of a sell there, yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be.
I don't know if the cycle, I spoke to a friend of mine. She was actually, I've known her for 15 years, very close friend. And she was actually working with Vitalik on Ethereum projects. And she told me, Leah, be careful because the cycle might be over earlier this year than we think. And it could be even in August. So I'm very
Hmm.
cautious. People still say, oh, there is no cycle institution. Come on. No matter what you think, Bitcoin and Ethereum are highly volatile, speculative assets. And the moment there is any sort of issue or stress in the market, these things are going to go down first, and especially Ethereum. So I do not believe that. I mean, you saw Bitcoin, how is it moving? And it's not even doing anything for last couple of weeks. The cycle usually works that Bitcoin stops rallying and then Ethereum catches up, which we saw. And then you have the altcoins also in that cycle, and then it's
Mhm.
over. So I said, okay, there are so many institutions in, and it might not be as big of a sell off this cycle as we saw 4 times already in the past in history, right? Bitcoin dumped easily 90%, 80%, 70%. It's getting less severe, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing Bitcoin back at 50,000 for example, it wouldn't surprise me absolutely zero at all. So yeah, we'll see
It's
what
gonna be
happens.
interesting. We're because me and Michael
Yeah,
Nauss were talking about it's gonna be interesting. We're super curious to see like because there is institutional buying now, so we're like this
yeah,
cycle that comes. I can't wait to see how it plays out, right? Like because
yeah,
of course we will get some sort of top for sure that
yeah,
comes into play, especially like coming into the months that we're leading into, right?
yeah.
But it's just a matter of like I'm so curious to see how aggressive it is. Is it going to be anywhere as aggressive as it has been in the past, or is it maybe have a little bit more just strength and like I guess safeness to it when
Hmm.
institutions are a part of it more. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it plays out. Honestly, either way, like I guess I'm happy either way. You know what I mean? I'm buying Bitcoin pretty consistently, and if we get a big dip, I'll just add a little more heavier down there. And if we just want to keep ripping higher and like kind of hold this and not dip too much, then cool. We keep DCAing and just let the thing ride. So
I stopped
I'm with you
buying
though. It's gonna be
about
interesting.
a month ago. I stopped buying. I was buying consistently, but now I stopped. I'm gonna let it run and see. And as I said, like if it dumps back down, who knows what price? I'll probably buy a couple and then just hang out. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've been through all these cycles, and honestly, when first time I went through this, when I had 90% of my investment gone for like 2 or 3 years, that wasn't fun.
No.
You know,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't. I'm with you. I
it
don't
was
think we get
not
those.
fun. I don't
I
think
don't
we
think we
get
get the
now.
insane rips, and I don't think we
No.
get the insane crashes anymore. I think it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like a normal asset, right? Is what I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
saying. Up or down,
Yeah. Yeah.
20, 30% is, if you see Bitcoin down 20, 30%, it's probably pretty bad out there just economically.
Yeah.
And just like that, you're probably not going to see Bitcoin double or triple in a year
No.
again, I don't think.
This is my support supply zone. It bounced. I have the zones here for a.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, did
Yeah.
Leah cut
We are
out?
just in
Oh, there
range
she is.
bound. Oh, did I cut
You,
out again?
you just for a split second, you're good. You went a little
Yeah.
frozen on us, but you're good. Don't worry.
Honestly, I honestly do not understand that I'm in middle of San Francisco and I do not have internet that's reliable and I
Leah's
spend
like, I'm not in
hundreds.
the middle of nowhere.
This is
Like, come on.
I am.
ridiculous. Like this is the tech
Yeah,
like Bay
Michael
Area.
is.
Like give me a break. And I
Oh,
do not have proper internet. We spent so much money trying to fix this internet here. We were both
it's
completely
horrible.
shocked. And like even when you go in the city, I do not have internet. Like last weekend, I went to Golden Gate Park and I could not get myself Uber to go home because I
I'm
had no
convinced it's just California,
internet.
Leah. I'm convinced, like, because I'm the
Florida is
same
the
way.
same.
Yeah.
Florida is the same. Miami
Gosh.
Beach, good luck with getting like what is going on in this country? It's third world country.
We
I
got
have like
5G and it's slower
I
now.
don't
Like,
even have
what
5G
happened?
most of the
Yeah,
time, to be honest
it's
with you.
crazy.
Like here I have one bar in my house. If I wouldn't have Wi-Fi, like I'm done. I can't even call nothing.
Oh
Seriously,
my
guys.
gosh,
Yeah.
that is
So
ridiculous.
I'm very sorry if I'm like if this is happening. Like
Oh no,
I
you're good.
honestly we tried everything. So
You are good. Don't you
what
worry.
else am I looking at? Oh,
I'm curious. Well,
CRM. CRM. I'm in
I wanted to
CRM.
get your thoughts too after CRM. I want to see if you
Hmm.
saw UNH and everything going on there.
Honestly, I saw UNH. I have some UNH. I don't have so much. I have like a couple hundred shares of that thing. And I
Solid.
was just doing so much fun of it last night. I just couldn't stop because, literally 90% of these people are probably in bags.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Oh yeah. I
And
tried to
like
tell him. I
now,
tried to tell him wait for the low
ah,
to be
I'm
broken.
like,
Wait for the low to be broken. And no,
Yeah.
they buy in the middle.
and they're like all
Uh,
like Jim Simmons now. They're breaking even on their bags, so they're like, "Oh yeah, I told you so." I'm like, "Come on." you know I like remember we traded it all here. I got out and then I bought it at 286 because 286 for me was like a really strong support back then. I looked and
yeah.
there was like a demand zone and it sit there like where is it? Right here. This while it sat there and I'm like, you know what, it's so beat up, maybe into earnings. So after earnings, boom, dump. And that what was happening. So I sold half and I kept half. I said, you know what, let me see. And I bought buy lower. So I rebought lower. So my average is 266. So it was just like I could have been 286 average. Now I'm 266 because of the buy. So that's what I have. and I'm gonna sit on those shares and see. But I don't know, guys. Like it's not like we're gonna go to 500 tomorrow. This can take a while too, just because
Agreed.
someone bought it. Like look at this supply of bag holders we have right ahead of us. So I bet most of the people are somewhere bag holding around 300 and 350 or 320.
Yep.
This is bag holders right here, and then we have to digest through all of them to selling, and then we have the gap, and then we have another supply zone, then we have another supply zone, which of course 450 would be already great, but this can take months and years. Like I'm not gonna be celebrating this. And then also, like, who doesn't buy UNH? I mean, come on, I had this on my portfolio for years. This is like one of the first things you buy when you start. You don't even know anything about investing, and you buy Nvidia and you buy Apple and UNH. I mean,
Hmm.
so anyways, that's like a boomer stock.
Yeah, but right when they come and play and they start getting interesting and they start moving around, then right, even the most boomery stock out there can be like
Oh yeah,
before in the
of
pre-market
course.
we were doing some drawings and saying what 50% retracement of
Yeah,
the sell-off
yeah,
was like
yeah,
60% gain from
yeah,
that low. That's
yeah.
I'll take that.
Of course,
And,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll
of
get paid a
course,
dividend
yeah.
while I wait for it too. Will be
Oh
great.
Yeah.
yeah, they did the dividend announcement this week. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much. I have some, but it's not like a huge position. And I'm in, yeah, CRM. That's just a typical classic reversal play. Nothing crazy, nothing exciting. It takes slow moving. Reversals are usually slower, and so my entry was 230. My stop is 225. I mean, just keep it round, and I'm aiming for 250. We'll see if I get it. If not,
It's
I
looking
might.
solid.
Yeah, it looks fine, and I might move my stop to 230 at some point and
Yeah,
just have
little
a like
break
no
even
risk
there.
trade. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
look at it
that's the
or
best.
whatever.
I
Do whatever
absolutely
you
love those
want.
trades. When I get a trade that's like I can go break even on, it's my favorite. Even if it gets hit break even, that's fine. Like that is a free trade I just got given from the market. I will take those all day long. I love them. Love
Yeah,
them.
The um yeah, a
like
lot of these moves, these boomer stocks actually just made it so that we CRM you mentioned and UNH are
hmm
both Dow components and
Hmm.
new all-time high in the Dow today, and this has been
Let's go.
coiling up for a long time, right? The last new all-time high, it's been just basing around this
yeah.
zone
Oh,
for
nice
for a
breakout.
while.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
So that's what's doing it is a lot of these more boring quote unquote type
hmm
plays. Biggest one being UNH, but the thing I like about this, and I forget the podcast, but I was watching a
Beautiful.
podcast, and they said, hey, even though it's not the most important ETF or not the most important sector out there, it's the one that is always quoted on the news. So it's
hmm
if you want to talk about like sentiment and emotions and everything about just the market, most boomers are going to turn on their CNN or whatever at the end of the day, and they're going to say, "Oh, the Dow hit a new all-time high today," and they go, "Okay, great," and that can lead to like influxes of capital and people getting excited. And I'm just looking at my screen here, and we've got the Qs down 0.3%, and then we've got the Dow
Wow.
up 0.5%. So that divergence between kind of big cap tech and the more safer boomer or boring names is continuing. We even have IWM doing better than the
Yeah.
Qs. So looks like
There's definitely
rotations here.
rotation. Yeah, we observed it last week already, and when I did a portfolio research with AI yesterday, what I own, I had 31 stocks that I have in my longer term portfolio, and I looked on, and again, like how I structure it is like 10 main stocks which I have full positions, let's say, or
Hmm.
like I want to allocate certain amount of money, and then the smaller ones I allocate one third of the, like the speculative ones like QBTS or any of the
Hmm.
quantum stocks and stuff that I'm like, let me be careful with those because they go hard or they go home. There's
Yeah,
nothing in
I
between.
like that. Yeah.
So, and Grok basically said that you have really high risk, high reward tech uh, portfolio, like ARC KK on steroids. So I know, like in a
Uh-huh.
drawdown, my portfolio is down 50%.
Hmm.
And Grok is like, you might want to balance it with some. I said, no, no, I'm not gonna.
You're like, shut up, Grok.
It's
Shut up.
fine. I'm not gonna do the balance it with Procter and Gamble, but yeah. So maybe people are going into those safer names now just to hedge kind of for potential drawdown in September. Fed are really in difficult situation right now because we have increasing inflation but softening job numbers. So now what they
Hmm.
do, right? If they keep the inflation, they want to keep the inflation in check. They can't lower the rates, but then we might lose more jobs and create more pain. So I don't know what they're gonna do. And we have this symposium, and then of course FOMC in September. I don't know if they're gonna lower the rates. I honestly don't know at this point. I know market is pricing in a lot. What is it pricing in?
I
Fed
think it's
tool.
90%
Let's
at the
see at the
moment.
Fed watch tool. Let's see.
I
The
feel
Fed.
so bad for J Pow. Like this.
I feel so bad for him. So it's 92%. 92.7%.
92.
You guys watched the tool. Let me show you. For people that are watching, maybe they want to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually
So,
have here too on TrendSpider. It's kind
so
of cool.
right
They've synced up with
here, I just
Polymarket.
go to the CME website and that's what it's pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's see, September is 92.7% chance they will lower the rates and 7.3% they're not going to lower the rates. That's what is current. Then we look at
if they
October.
don't, if they
This
don't,
market is going to dump.
look out. Yeah,
Look out.
it
Yeah.
will be disastrous because we've gone from what they're going to do. We did like 5 rate cuts to now they're pricing in 2 rate cuts. So it's
They're going to go
Now I
expectations
down.
have
don't want
been,
them to cut. Now I
yeah,
don't
they've
want them
been
to.
tampered with.
Rugged.
If they don't, yeah, that's going to be
Oh, yeah.
the
That's why I'm
panic.
saying September, guys. Ooh, I don't know.
Well, and you're going to have
Get
Trump
ready
just
for shorts, baby.
losing his
He's gonna lose
mind
it. It's gonna
on
be,
Twitter.
and now we have
Yeah.
today we have Ukraine Russia war negotiation because I do not think these two men can negotiate. One is a complete KGB, like he's just my way or highway, and Trump cannot negotiate whatsoever. So we have
Mhm.
like these two morons now trying to decide about country. They're not even part of that country. Like this is absolutely disrespectful to not even include the president to this negotiation. But anyways, that's like not how you negotiate. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think there will be any positive results. So that could be a first. I don't know if the market really cares about Ukraine, to be honest with you. Seems like last month's market did not care about anything. It just went higher. But at some point it's gonna start caring. And I don't know, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, they're starting in Alaska. So why they can't start now so we can actually trade?
Oh,
I
is
know.
that what that tentative? That's probably what that
That's what that
tentative
is. That's what that is. Yeah.
thing.
And
Because
into the
yeah,
weekend on top of that.
Because I
Seriously.
was looking at my calendar and yesterday I was like, Trump was not speaking yesterday. And then I looked today and it popped on there, but it doesn't have the time. It says tentative, and that's why. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Ah,
We will see. We will see what happens. I don't
so
yeah.
know.
this
I
might be one
do
of
not
those days
think.
that you that it's worthwhile watching the VIX. Then I would say
Yeah,
because there's probably going to be a fair amount
maybe
of
long
put
weeks.
buying. Yeah, into makes sense, right? If this is going and this is going into the weekend, it would make sense for some large fund managers to say, all right, let's start buying some into
But the weeks
Friday. Let's
doesn't
buy some in
care.
protection.
Look,
But
it's 14.93, and we
I
have
know,
monthly expiry today also. This is this.
I
yeah,
know. I would
I
have
don't
expected a more
understand.
of a spike here this morning. I'm not gonna lie, but
Nothing. Me too.
we also did
There's
rip pretty good in Asia session, but we're way below that. I'm with you, Leah. I would have expected that volatility
mm,
on this dip to be a little higher, but
nothing.
that's also been my expectations on every time we dip, and it hasn't really happened. So
all right, you
The
guys convinced me.
futures.
I'm buying some VIX. What is it? UVXY? Is that the double?
yeah, UVXY is it?
All
UVXY.
right,
I have it here opened.
yeah,
Michael
UVXY.
sold.
I
And I'm
I
checking this
just
Sold to
one.
Michael Nauss.
no. When Leah brought up the chart, I
S
didn't
bets.
realize the VIX was that low. That's like complacency low.
It
That's like
shouldn't be this low right now, Michael. Like
no,
not with
it's
what we're at. I don't think
so
so. But
that makes me want to just go and not crazy, but I just think it's probably warranted if we're having these negotiations and talks into the weekend.
yeah,
I went and I looked at my portfolio and I am over 100% long on everything and everything's doing well.
let's get
But
a little
Yeah.
hedge.
yeah, let's
I'm hedged. I'm hedged. I'm very happy. You know what I did? I did colors on
Oh
5
yeah,
names I own, and I'm actually already making money on them. It's a great option strategy I use.
mhm.
You guys use it, or do you know about it?
Uh,
I've studied it a bit in the past. Paper Gains has tried to get me all over it, but I've done it here and there. I'm not super educated on it though. Michael probably knows more than me.
Okay.
I
Yeah, so basically, sorry, you go
No,
ahead,
I was going to
Michael.
say, yeah, I explain away because it's a little bit complicated for some people, but I think it's a good way to do it. So yeah, why don't you give the folks a little bit of an option lesson?
So it's pretty one of the simpler multi-leg option strategies, I
Hmm.
would say. And what you do when your stocks are flying, for example, coin, or I did coin, AMD, ANET, and so on and so far. So when you see your stocks are flying, you have like a huge move, and the stock ran for a while, and now you're getting into an uncertain moment in the market like we are having today, and so on so far. You open collar, so you sell covered call on your holding. So each 100 shares you can open one covered call, and you sell it usually 25-30 delta. You can look on the option chain, you see this information. That means that it's about 25 to 30% chance that this will happen, and it has other meanings, right? I'm not going to go a dollar meaning into it, but I sell those covered calls, I get a profit. And because the stock is in the run and it's green on the day, and then 2, 3, 4 green days and strong run, I get a lot of money because there's a lot of people buying this calls in anticipation, and there is a higher implied volatility. So I sell the covered call, get a nice juicy premium, and then I take this money that I have and I buy a put, whatever is rational there. So I usually try to cover my cost of the put with the money that I get for the covered call, but
Makes
sometimes I
sense.
pay a couple of, $50 more or so, 100
Hmm.
bucks more just to have a higher strike. So that's what I did on AMD, ANET, Coin, TEM, and what else did I covered? Five total I covered, and they are now protected. So I don't care what's happening. So on this day, I
It's
bought on
phenomenal.
Coin, and look, Coin is already down 45, not 30, around 30 bucks, whatever it is. Yeah, so that's my strategy, and I'm hedged with that. And I have some October SPY puts. That's it.
It's a
But
great
yeah,
way to do it, Leah.
yeah, it's nice. It's really cheap. It's free strategy. You do not pay for the protection. But the best part is when the stock goes down, you make money not only on that overpriced covered call you sold, but you're also making money on the put.
On the put that you bought. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So
That's
you
what's so
have
beneficial
no,
about it.
this is like insane risk return on investment. And when I'm wrong and the market keeps going, okay, well, these are delta 25, delta 30. So like on, let me see, on AMD, I sold 195. AMD 195, 155 I did. So AMD would have to go to 195 that I would have to sell, which is
Hmm.
Hmm.
not that far. It's like another $7. But that's the point. You need to hit it close to resistance. And after a rally, when you're like, okay, we might have an exhaustion volume right here, you see? Exhaustion volume, we have bad news. Like, I do not think that by September 19, I won't have chance to get this money, that there won't be any sort of retest or pullback. So that's kind of my thinking. And if there is none, okay, well then I sell the shares for 195. I don't care.
Yeah. And what I like about it is you're essentially, to the best of your ability, getting free. You're looking for free insurance, right? You're
Hmm.
selling an
Yeah.
instrument in order to pay for that insurance. So where most people will just fund insurance out of their own pocket and then
Yeah.
decrease the overall return of the instrument, you're saying, I'm not going to decrease my return. I'm going to keep my return roughly the same. And then, of course, because there always has to be a trade off for everything in trading,
Hmm.
are basically just saying the trade off is just that if this thing spikes a little more, I'll take the money off the table. So it's a really good
Yeah.
way for people out there who are especially exposed to accidental gains. It's something I talk to people all the time. I'll get like a call from a guy and say, hey, I just bought Nvidia and I looked at my account and I made 100 grand from it. It's like some dude who's not even in the world at all. And he's like, well, what do I do? Do I sell it here? Do whatever? And I usually do some sort of, right, either cover calls, or if they're a little bit more sophisticated, something like a collar, because it's a way to balance kind of both sides of your brain as well, where you're saying you're not selling the instrument, but you're
Yeah.
putting on kind of free insurance. And then if it continues higher, you're just going to be forced to sell it anyway, and just be okay with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, another one. So I want to show you, for example, ANET. I'm entered at 99 on this breakout right here because you guys know I like to play those breakouts. So
Hmm.
if ANET gets to 149, I have 149, 129 free protection, right?
Hmm.
So I make 50% on this equity holding in like what, June, July, August, whatever, 2.5 months.
Hmm.
I mean, I can take the gains. I'm super happy with that. If the stock decides to dump, it's 129. I'm already in the money on that put, so it's not that far
Exactly.
from. So if we fill this gap, I'm already in the money, and I will be looking if we bounce there, we bounce here. I'm printing on this, and then I buy more of the stock for that
Yep.
money, or I buy something else. So that's a really fun one. I did TEM as well. TEM actually ran so much and had such nice momentum that I said, you know what, let me do sell some. Well, sell. I don't even know, sell and buy. Cover color. This one I have 85 and 60. So again, 85 is up here. Would have to get up there first, and then I have 60, which is down here, which is too low. I don't think it's gonna go there. But TEM is very volatile stock.
Yeah.
So once there is any sort of momentum to the downside, I know it's gonna go down there. It's not a problem because it's been in a range. Look at this range here. So I wouldn't be surprised. In order to get to my covered call, would have to break out from the range. But just to get down to 60, it just stays in the range, which is not that difficult. Yeah, this makes me really I sleep really well with this, and I'm gonna do more of those on my portfolios into like mid or late September, and that will be my hedging basically.
That's the key, right? Do things that allow us to sleep well, not with
Hmm.
one
Yeah,
eye open at night.
So we
Right.
make better decisions the next day, right? That's the important thing.
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Well, guys, it's been a fun hour. I think we're gonna wrap it up, but
yeah.
what a fun time, Leah. Thanks for coming on, sharing
Yes,
all the
thank
plays. We always
you.
love the Fridays. Always
Bye
such a
bye.
fun time with you guys every week. And Michael Nauss, always love hanging with you and getting to hear about your automation strategies and just your thoughts on everything. We're so similar in the way we analyze things, so I
Hmm.
love hopping on Fridays with you. But
Yeah,
if you're in
these
the
are fun.
audience, make sure you guys are subscribing to the StockTwits YouTube channel and liking the stream. We'll be back next Friday, but of course, this show runs every day throughout the week with Shy. So feel free to, or with Shy and Katie. So feel free to tap into that throughout the week. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Friday. Have a good one. Trade safe today and enjoy the weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace out.